Hey, welcome to the Horror Movie Podcast. This is the Friday edition. We are here with Andrea Smith
From VisionCon.
from VisionCon.
Very happy to be here.
We're
Very
so happy
excited.
you are here.
Yeah. I'm happy to nerd out with you guys.
We're excited. We're going to be at VisionCon,
I'm very excited to have you guys.
and I'm just looking forward to it.
Now, have you guys ever been to VisionCon before?
I've never been to VisionCon. I feel like producer Phil, went to it when it was in Springfield one year.
Yes.
Because he talked about it. And we have some other people that are here at the church we go to that they have been like a lot of years. Like they went last year.
Well, it is our 26th year.
It's unbelievable.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That's almost as old. It's almost been around. Like I'm almost as old as, I'm just joking. All right. Anyway.
But we are, every year we grow.
Yeah.
Like I said, we on your last podcast, we are now at the Branson Convention Center, which is a huge complex. It's bigger than the one in Springfield. It's almost as big as the ones in Kansas City and St. Louis.
Absolutely.
And it is just an amazing facility, and the whole genre is just huge right now. Comic-Cons, sci-fi conventions. I don't even think they call them sci-fi conventions anymore. I think everyone just calls it a Comic-Con now.
Or some sort of
pop culture convention, but it's a good time to be a nerd. Really good time.
Absolutely. We really enjoy them. You have a great lineup of guests. Tell us about a few of those guests.
Well, our main guest of honor is John Wesley Shipp, who played the original Flash back in the 90s TV series, and who in this current reboot of The Flash that's on right now plays Barry Allen's dad, and who plays Jay Garrick from Earth 3. So he's the speedster again. And something that I'm really excited to talk to him about when we see him is that he's going to be crossing over and appearing in Legends of Tomorrow, which is another CW show.
Which I like a lot.
And what a lot of people don't know is that he's also going to be appearing in the upcoming series Justice Society of America, which they are setting up right now on Legends of Tomorrow.
It's cool. You know, he did the voice for Professor Zoom.
Checking my sources.
Batman, the Brave and the Bold. I kind of like that, though.
Siri was trying to get in on our
is that
conversation.
the Australian or the
British?
My wife has the British guy.
It's the closest I could get to Jarvis.
It's
so
pretty good.
That's the way we went with that one.
My wife is a teacher as well, and she was in her class the other day, and she kept saying "hey" to the kids, like she was talking.
Yeah.
And she had that setting, the "Hey Siri" setting on, and he just kept talking to her. That was kind of funny.
I love
laugh.
it. It's so funny.
The kids liked it too. What was I going to say? Tell us about who else. We have Master Chief.
Yes.
I almost said Master Chef.
Well, it's the
I
same,
almost said
kind of the
Master
same
Chef.
thing.
Okay.
What's Gordon Ramsay's show?
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. But do you have a Master Chef? Is there a Master Chef show?
You're thinking Iron Chef.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of. Mm-hmm. Maybe there should be a Master Chef show.
I think I would watch
Guy
that.
Fieri. It'll be Guy Fieri, and it'll be Adam from Man vs. Food.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it. Master Chef. But no, Master Chief is there.
From Halo, yes.
Yeah, and he's there.
Steve Downs is going to be there. Brian Muir, who is, if you're a Star Wars fan, who is not out there, he was the original concept sculptor who came up with the helmet for Darth Vader.
That's cool.
Original character design for Stormtroopers. And if you just go online, if it's in Star Wars and you liked it, he is probably the one who designed it. And
Alien. He worked on Alien.
Yeah.
He worked on Raiders of the Lost Ark. Wow.
If there's a sci-fi character you like, he probably had a hand in it if it wasn't Frank Oz.
Wow. He created the Stormtrooper armor for Star Wars.
Yes. Which our local 501st Garrison 66, I'm pretty sure they're all going to be just all over him fangirling all weekend long.
Hugging up on him.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna.
Hey, will you sign my armor? Hey, will you sign my armor?
They can't because they won't be able to be in the 501st after that.
It'll be on the inside.
That's awkward. I don't know if you should do that or not. They can, I guess. You just can't let Palpatine or Darth Vader see the. Never mind. He's worked on a ton of movies, folks.
Oh my
Look
gosh.
up Brian Muir.
Muir.
Oh my gosh, he's worked. This is one of those things that it's the back end person in a movie. that you don't, not just generically, just don't know their name off the top of your head.
Right.
Unless you're really into it.
Yeah.
But then when you look at what he's done, he has to have a huge mansion in Beverly Hills somewhere. And they're like, who lives there? Oh, it's Brian Muir.
Yep.
Who? Look him up. And they're like, wow, that makes sense.
Unfortunately, I don't think that those people who are in production get paid like the actors do.
He worked on Kroll, Jared. Kroll. We did that on this show as well.
Yeah. So he's a huge, huge name in the sci-fi industry.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have, go ahead, tell us more. I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
We've got Laura Tyler and RJ Hattie from Face Off. If you are ever into Hollywood makeup and prosthetics and character design, they were on a show called Face Off, which was on the Sci-Fi Channel. Mm-hmm. Laura is actually the only person to win that competition twice. And she went on to work on huge Hollywood movies like The Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. And so they're both these huge Hollywood makeup artists. And they're actually having workshops and classes at VisionCon that you can take. And it's just $25 to have a class from them. Laura's doing a character design class, and RJ's doing foam fabrication and face prosthetics. And so if you're trying to take your cosplay up to the next level, you've got actual Hollywood makeup artists who can show you how to work on your costume.
It's cool. It's at the Branson Convention Center. Mm-hmm. A huge, beautiful convention center.
Amazing.
In a very well-lit part of Branson, which is kind of everywhere in Branson. But it's in a very nice part of town.
Yeah.
The Hilton.
Right by the landing.
Yeah, right by the landing. Which the landing is this awesome shopping area if you're not from the area. But it is cool.
Yeah. I love it. We have been so happy there. The convention center is actually connected to the hotel, and we actually have several off-site events as well. Mm-hmm. Right there around the landing. So it's such a good location for us, with all the restaurants and stuff around us. So
now,
cool.
This is an interesting thing. Most cons are pro-profit, but VisionCon is actually a non-profit organization, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're actually a 501c charity.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. The entire staff, that we have a full-time staff of 50 people and another 50 people who are just part-time staff. None of us get paid at all. We don't even get anything, not a single dollar. We just do it because we love it. And every single year we'll pick a different charity to where the proceeds will go. This year's charity is Great Circle, which used to be the Boys and Girls Town. Mm-hmm. Last year was Care to Learn.
Mm-hmm. I saw that last year,
Yeah, so the whole convention, and it's one of the reasons that we're able to keep our ticket prices a little bit lower than the Planet Comic-Con or Wizard World, but still be able to get nationwide guests to come out. So yeah,
really
we
cool.
are not for profit.
That's hey, thanks for pointing that out, Jared.
Yeah.
I thought that was really amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. That's cool. Who did you say the charity was this year? You said it's the
Great Circle.
Great Circle. Okay, awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Tell us about some connection stuff where people can find out more about VisionCon.
So if you just go to our website, which is just visioncon.net, not .com, it's visioncon.net.
.net.
People mess that up all the time. I type it my cell phone.
I can't get on your website.
That's
exactly. I typed in the .com, and now we're mad.
It's so right, because where'd it go? It was there a minute ago.
I know. And wait, is this the cast from Tremors? Will they be there as well?
Right. We're just setting it up for the movie.
That would be fun. Anyway,
let's do it.
That'd be a hard group to get to come to your Comic-Con.
Oh, it would be amazing though.
Reba, Kevin Bacon. Did I mention the dad from Family Ties, Michael Gross?
Yeah.
And Earl, Fred Ward.
I'd watch that panel. I'd be there.
It'd be unbelievable. And I would show up as what are they called? A
graboid.
A graboid.
Graboids.
In my sleeping bag with my, with my pool noodles out of the top of it.
Yes.
Hey, what is he? Oh, obviously he's a graboid.
With the pumpkin guts.
Yeah.
I love this idea.
Like Garbage Pail Kids or something out there. Okay.
No.
Did I cut you off? VisionCon.net.
VisionCon.net is our website, and from there you can go and find our Facebook page or our Twitter. Our full schedules on there and our entire guest lineup. We have a huge guest lineup. We've got artists. We've got All right, we have a 24-hour gaming room. If any of your listeners are gamers, something that's different about VisionCon from the other conventions is we're 24-hour con.
Yeah.
Our game room, our movie room, we have events going 24 hours a day from the time we open till the time we shut down.
It's awesome. You can save on a hotel that way too.
You could, yeah. If you just
could totally
don't sleep,
save. You just have just gonna.
If you don't sleep,
skimp on
you're
the
good.
shower though.
What if someone? But what if someone?
There's the fountains. It's at the
of
landing.
course,
You just
of
go get in the
course.
fountains. It's fine.
Well, there's a lake right by it.
Oh, yeah.
Like Taneycomo, or what's the name of that?
Yeah.
That would be rough to. That'd be hard to get out of that.
Brown water.
Yeah, it's
though.
kind of gross.
Yeah, I go with the fountains. But
You could sleep in the corner of one of those rooms, right? Would you guys run someone off if they were like crashed in the corner of one of the rooms?
if they look like they had painted their eyes open, we'd probably just leave them alone. It's part of if you're part of your costume is that you
I
can't
didn't see
your
that coming.
face.
I didn't. That was good. Touche. I didn't think about that.
If you're wearing
as
a
possibility.
mask and we can't tell that you're asleep, you could just be resting.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'll keep that in mind. I like sleep though, so
Yeah, sleep
and
is
I like
good.
hotels. Man, they're the best.
Yeah, you never run out of hot water. It's amazing.
It's great,
Yeah.
and you feel super important in a hotel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Motels not as much. You don't always feel as important in a
or
motel.
as clean or safe.
Right. But at any rate, I'm not sure where that was going. Okay, you told me that your favorite movie of all time was Tremors. Like you watch this movie every day of your life,
Right.
right?
Right.
Oh,
yes.
you're agreeing. Okay,
Yes.
you didn't have to agree. I was
When
kinda
you're
joking.
like, what movie should we do? I was like, it has to be Tremors.
You gave me,
I love it
you
so
gave me,
much.
but we can't talk bad about it
Right.
because it's my favorite.
Don't be dissing
Well,
my movie.
this is the horrible movie podcast, but we can do the best movie podcast.
Horrible in a great way.
Great, horrible because it's so
Horribly
horrible, it's great.
awesome.
Horribly awesome. You had 4 options. You said one of these 4, and I said Tremors.
Yes.
I can't remember the other 3. Next time you come on,
Yeah.
we'll do one of those other ones or whatever. I mean, whatever. We can do whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Tremors.
It is.
Tell us about Tremors. Your first. Go talk about what we talked about earlier about when you've watched Tremors.
Well, when Tremors first came out, I did not see it in the movie theater, which back then
Most didn't.
not a lot of people did.
Most people did not.
Which was pretty much how you saw the really good movies back in the day, because we didn't have streaming or the cloud or any of those things. But what we did have was syndication, which means that they would take one movie and play it over and over on every channel on Saturday and on the evenings. And when it's just very comforting. I feel like
Agreed.
it's like
Agreed.
I know that movie, and
Yeah.
and it is a horrible movie, and the props are terrible, and the acting is
Trauma vision. When I say that, I have said that to so many people on this podcast. Toxic Avenger. You know what that is? Wow. I don't know where else to go. Maybe not Swamp Thing, but anyway.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. You're allergic to horrible movies? I hope
yes. This one especially. The graboids got me.
Yes.
Anyway, the props reminded me of that.
Yes.
Or Bad Taste, or like what's his face?
Little Shop of Horrors.
Okay. Yes. Life model type stuff. What's his face? Peter Jackson.
Yes.
Peter Jackson did Bad Taste. He did a movie, actually a movie with Michael J. Fox in. Is it The Frighteners? And they have these very fake-looking props that they have no budget, so they do all. And Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings, I think he really got good at making prop sets, models, and so he was able to do Lord of the Rings because he started out his career doing, paper mache type things.
Yeah.
Or these, like, he's not on this obviously, but graboids, if you will.
They wish he was.
He might be. I don't know. I honestly, hadn't really looked. Ron Underwood is the director.
If any of your listeners are younger and they have not experienced the wonder of Tremors, I would highly encourage
of Tremors.
Yes, I would highly encourage them to take that hour and 30 minutes out of your life and just experience it, because yeah, it's got its horrible moments, but you know what? For what it was, it's not a horrible movie.
Let me tell you this about, and I'll go through the deets in a second, but Ron Underwood, who directed this movie, two things. Number one, he directed Santa Baby 2, Christmas Maybe, what it's called. Not sure. But Jared, you'll like this. He directed an episode of Heroes.
Oh, really?
Like one where you still liked it, or one where you're kind of ready for it to be
over?
Or
the one that ended it all.
Yeah, where it was over. Season 4, episode 12, which may have been the very last episode.
It probably was. On the circus.
Yeah, and nobody else would take it.
And it was over.
Yeah. So.
It was over at that point. Okay.
Oh.
So I agree with what you said about syndication. It's like you see it so often.
Right.
Okay, I'll give you this one. Obviously different genre. Night Court. I watched so many episodes of Night Court. And now I want to watch episodes of Night Court, and I can't find Night Court anywhere. Not that anyone cares what I want.
Yes.
What? What's the other one? Seinfeld episodes. And I love Seinfeld. I still watch a lot of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But you've seen every episode, and so you get that feeling. And Tremors, the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tremors 2 even. I remember seeing Tremors 2 in the same sort of scenario where you're just seeing it over and over again.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know, it's just comforting where, you know, you can just turn it on and you can go about your day if you've got something else to do, but you need that background comfort, you know, that you're kind of watching, kind of not. It's just the perfect movie for that.
It is the perfect movie with the sound of the graboids in the background. Not sure what the Foley artists that had to make that sound over and over again. Okay. So now is the time.
All right.
Our podcast is based around segments.
Okay.
We have found that segments keep me from talking about Night Court.
Scientifically proven
for 2 hours.
To keep Jack on topic.
To keep me on topic, having segments.
All right.
This segment is called Time for Some Deets. This movie, Tremors, starring our friend Kevin Bacon, Fred Ward, who's Joe Dirt's dad from the Joe Dirt movie.
Another fantastically awful movie.
A very fantastically awful movie. Finn Carter. Who, pray tell, is Finn Carter? Oh, that's the college student. Okay, I didn't see that name. Finn Carter. And Michael Gross, Daddy from Family Ties. And you can't forget about, and we don't want to forget about, Reba McEntire.
I don't know how they afforded her, honestly.
She was probably glad to do a movie. Reba. Do you like Reba? Be honest. I'm not. I talked about being judgmental. I'm not judgmental. If you said she's my favorite, I'd be like, that's awesome.
I'm not a huge country music fan, but I do like Reba, and she has such a very specific voice that you don't have to be into country music, that you could hear her singing and be like, that's Reba McEntire.
It's like Sugarland is the same way. I have a very specific Reba song, Fancy. The song Fancy, you know who that song that is?
Yeah.
If I have a chance to sing at karaoke, I always sing at karaoke.
I would like to see that.
Okay.
When will that be airing next?
I could sing it. I don't know.
And it's time for our next segment.
Jack,
there you go.
Jack sings Fancy. I wonder if we could probably put that in post-production.
Okay.
I don't know. I'd have to have the words
that
on karaoke.
That means you wait until I leave, right?
Well, but you wouldn't be able to watch me do it. We could probably do it if we hit pause, but it might, it might be a little longer scenario. But I would gladly sing it.
We'll put that in the maybe bucket.
I can sing it right now if you wanted me to. If Jerry could pull the music up, but it might be tougher. Are you pulling it up? Oh, I've got to have lyrics first, though. Are you putting them up there?
He's all over it.
Okay, can you expand that? And then it'll play through the headphones?
Yep.
You guys can't see, but he's actually really excited.
Do you have Fancy? Oh, in this, I always like karaoke because it says in the style of Reba McEntire. This is gonna be great audio, folks.
Oh, Oh, here it goes.
Now, I wonder if this is the extended version with the, you know what I'm talking about? Let's just do about a minute of this, okay?
Okay.
Well, I remember it all very clear. Looking back, it was the summer I turned 18. We lived in a one-room run-down shack on the outskirts of New Orleans.
So happy right now.
We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least. We were hard-pressed. Then Mama spent every last penny we had to buy me a dancing dress. Well, it was red. Well, Mama's come and curled my hair, and she painted my eyes and lips. And then I stepped into a satin dancing dress that was lit up to my hip. It was red velvet trimming, and it fit me good. Standing back for looking for the last woman that laughed down to it instead. Here we go. She said, here's your one chance, I don't let me down. Hey, I said, here's your one chance, I said, don't let me down. Got a backing vocal here, too.
Oh,
okay, that's good. Good job, guys. Okay.
We'll have to pay royalties on that one.
Oh, we will, won't we? Oh. But it was a karaoke version.
It's a little variation.
I used Reba's name, though.
Rita.
I don't know how to get. I don't know how to get around this now. It'll be. You know what? I have a feeling it'll be fine.
I think it will be too.
I have a feeling no one cares.
I think that the joy that it brought you is worth
felt my Friday just went away. The pain of a Friday. What? All right. So real quick, this was a release date of January 19th, 1990, which makes a lot of sense to be a January release. Mm-hmm. Lots of sense. Didn't have to fight with the other summer blockbusters because everyone knew when they announced, listen, we're going to do Tremors. Oh,
the other movies were shaking
July
in their boots.
July 4th release.
Yeah.
Well, okay, August 1st release. Well, I don't. Christmas. How about Halloween release? I'm like, we don't know about that.
Kind of.
Okay. Thanksgiving, no. Christmas, yeah, no. Home Alone, no. I know. January the 19th. Sounds great. Budget $11 million.
Really?
How much did this make in the box office? Budget was $11 million for a bunch of cantaloupe juice to be exploded everywhere. Was that real? Budget $11 million and box office. What did this make in the theaters?
You want me to guess?
Yeah.
I'm going to say $9 million.
$16 million.
They made money. That's good.
There it is. $16 million. They made money. $5 million. So there it is. There's the deets. Okay, now's the time. Your responsibility on this podcast. Here it is. This is where all the money's made. This is the highest grossing segment we have. This is where all the marbles are marbled. What? Okay, I've got to get my timer down here because this is very important.
Yes.
I'm going to have to. I used to have a watch and I stopped.
Now, my fear is that your listeners will listen to this synopsis and then feel like they don't need to go watch the movie.
They won't.
But they need to.
They won't. They will not. They will not.
They will not watch the movie, or they will not.
Well, they've probably already seen the movie or they know about it.
I hope
and
so.
if they've gotten to this point, it's because they've invested into downloading this and listening, and they're tried driving somewhere.
They're trapped in a car.
Studies show that podcasts are mainly absorbed while you're driving somewhere.
And that makes complete sense to me.
Yes. I don't know about the studies. I've never done these studies.
Can you cite a resource on that one?
Yes. thehorrormoviepodcast.com.
Yeah.
So that's
reputable.
the resource. It's very reputable. It's a bibliography haven. Okay, you have 30 seconds.
All right.
This is going to count down, and then there's an alarm is going to go off.
Okay.
And then if the alarm goes off,
very stressful.
I have put 20 graboids on the roof. And when they hear this go off, the vibration, the sound, they will automatically come through the roof and try to eat Jared. Not you or I. We're safe. Because we're just going to pause and
if you don't move, they can't hear you.
They have no eyes. They ain't got no eyes, Earl. Ready?
I'm ready.
And Andrea Smith, 30-second synopsis, and go.
Okay, so there are these giant worm things, and they live under the ground. And I can't stress enough how much you need to know that these things are under the ground. Because if you don't know that, you're not going to make it through this movie. So we have our main characters who are tired of their blue-collar life in the desert, and they're headed out of town because they're ready to move on with their lives. They're ready to get on a train and just go to a new...
Graboids.
I didn't even get to the graboids.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Guys, come on down.
I'm ready. I'm ready. Bring them on.
Okay, so the graboids come.
The graboids come and they eat everyone. And then not everyone, because our main characters live, because that's how you make movies.
They outsmart them.
Yeah. Because when you're a worm, you have a tiny brain. And big graboids.
Except big graboids. except at the end they have this idea.
They evolve and learn. Yes.
He threw the explosive, and then the graboid thing. I'm assuming you're saying this. Are you sure that's the name of these things?
Yes.
Why? How do they know it's the name?
There's a whole scene where they're naming it
They come up with all these different
ideas. Are they in the restaurant?
The shop owner
in the shop.
They're in the grocery store.
Graboid. There we go. Graboids.
Graboids.
Now these things are highly rapidly evolving. Like they evolve over the next 5 movies.
There are spinoffs.
By the 5th one, they have mortgages. They have car payments. They have started companies, and they've evolved as a people.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's heartwarming.
There are so many other heartwarming. You're right. It is heartwarming.
With a heart of gold.
With a heart of gold. I'm a graboid.
Did you say heartwarming or heartwarming?
Heartwarming. All right.
Ba-dum-bum.
Time for
They
some
have pills
plot.
for that.
Yeah. Time for some plot here. Some
All
weeks
right.
this is called 5-point plot. This week it's not called 5-point plot. It's called Time for Some Plot. Val and Earl.
There's sort of a plot, I suppose.
Yes.
It's don't get eaten.
It's a vagary.
But
you hit it right on the
die.
head in your 30-second synopsis.
Yeah.
Right on the head. They do odd jobs in this place called Perfection, Nevada. Okay? And they are cleaning out the sewer tank of some guy's trailer.
Anything to make it better.
They are digging holes up. They are pushing trash around. They're fixing things.
And they have had enough, and they're ready to go.
Where do they say they're going?
Away.
We're headed out of here. The one lady tries to convince them to stay for some money, and they're like, no, we gotta follow our dreams.
I'm done.
And they are headed out of town, and as they're leaving town... Oh, by the way, the opening scene is Kevin Bacon peeing off of a cliff.
It's true.
Peeing off of a cliff.
And if that doesn't get your viewers interested, nothing will.
Exactly. I mean, seriously. Kevin Bacon. I'm just saying. I ain't faking. It's Kevin Bacon. So he... rewind, sorry. Again, Kevin Bacon. They are driving out of town.
Yes.
They see someone
There's
up...
one way out of town, and that's it.
Yes, and that comes in handy later in the movie. It's a MacGuffin device for the rest of the movie. They look on this tower, and that's Edgar Deems up there. What's he doing up there? Edgar, come down! They all have massive accents, by the way. He's up there, Kevin Bacon, paper, rock, scissors, Rochambeau's his way to climbing the tower. He climbs the tower.
And he's dead.
The guy's dead.
Dead.
We're wondering why he's dead.
Right.
There's a doctor there apparently who says he died from dehydration. He's been dead for 3 or 4 days. Why did he sit up there? What happened to him? He's got a gun in his hand. He was scared.
He was so scared.
And they're not sure what's happening. Meanwhile, we have
but they don't care. They're like, you know what? I don't care why he's dead. We're leaving.
Yeah, well, we got to get out of this town. We should have left this town one day earlier. They're getting ready to roll out of town. They're on their way out, and they drive by a guy's house by the name Old Fred, who's a shepherd. That's a very weird town. Jared, you watched this movie, right?
Yeah.
It's a very weird town. It's an old mining community.
I feel like it's a bunch of loners who have come together to just form their own community.
Very true.
Yeah.
Riddle me this one. I'm assuming it's 1990, but is there any actual scene that tells us it's 1990? Is there really anything else? Maybe this is some post-apocalyptic world They didn't really talk about that, did they? They didn't set it up that way, did they?
I don't have enough information to make
think
an
the
informed
outside
decision.
world, you get some more information in the follow-up movies where
Oh, that's true. Never mind. Sorry. Rabbit not chased. I won't chase that rabbit. It's not really a rabbit. So they discover old Fred's head sticking out of the ground, face up. He has been sucked into the ground by we don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Because they haven't shown the graboid or their tentacle arm things yet. Val and Earl are convinced it's a murderer. There's a murderer on the loose.
Well, because that's what any rational human would think. Someone's killing people.
Somehow dragging them into the sand and burying them with their feet first. 2 construction workers. They're driving out of town. They tell them there's murderers. These 2 construction workers are there. They kind of ignore them. One of them is drilling. The ground starts vibrating, and they drill into this. I thought this was kind of funny. They drill into one of the things, and it bleeds up through. It has red blood.
Yeah.
So
it's clearly an organic organism.
Yeah. Might be a mammal.
Maybe.
It's not a robot.
Wait, do someone? Well, I mean, it's not. No, it's not a robot because they explode whenever they see how you can fly at the end. But anyway. Stampede. So they, the 2 construction workers get killed, but Earl and Val don't know this yet.
Right.
The lines to the phone when they get to the, they try to get help. They go to the store. The store owner. What was his name? He's an Asian guy, and he's in many movies.
Oh my gosh!
In the 80s, in many movies. Big Trouble in Little China.
Love that movie.
Yeah, it's good. See, I think that was one of the movies on your list,
That was one of the movies on my list.
But I always kind of liked that movie. I liked it.
I did too.
But you were going to serve it up as a horrible movie, though. See,
because I feel like, it's low budget and the acting is not great.
It's marginal,
and, the props are not great, but it's still so good.
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. But phones don't work. And now they're in this store thing. At this point in the movie, you know what movie I thought of? Have you ever seen Maximum Overdrive? It's the 18-wheeler movie. It's a truck movie. Emilio Estevez is in it. And the machines, there's a comet that goes over, and the machines are taken over because this comet has some sort of electromagnet thing that causes the machines to become sentient. Murderous. Yeah.
I like it.
Very similar. They're hiding in this thing. The one girl, the one waitress in that movie, that was my favorite because she yells at the machines. We made you! It's like one of my favorite lines of any movies ever. All right. I randomly yell that sometimes in my life. So.
Not your son, but your wife?
Right.
No, not at anybody. I didn't say I yell at anybody. I said I randomly yell that sometimes in my life.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Yeah, that was bad. I sometimes randomly. My wife will hear this, so.
She does get murderous, though.
My wife? She does not get. They went. My wife and Jared went to college together.
Oh, okay.
So I could see him saying that she might get murderous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Anyway.
No, she's not.
Yeah. So they are still going to leave town, right? No, they borrow horses at this point. Why do they borrow horses? Their tires and their truck.
Well, I think that the road
graboid grabbed their axle.
Yeah, and it broke their truck.
Yes.
And then the road out of town has been cut off by the graboids.
Yes.
So they decide to take the pass, the mountain pass,
Mountain pass.
to get out of town.
Yes.
But it's too far to walk, so they get on horses.
So the horses then, one of them, they're running through the countryside, and one of the horses gets killed.
Yeah, the graboids get it.
There's a couple that gets killed too.
Yeah, and that's actually one of my favorite scenes because they are in this station wagon, and the station wagon, the whole car gets pulled down by the graboids into the ground, into the sand, which, for the time, I'm like, wow, they did a really good job with that. They actually put a car in the ground, and it looks really good, and it's pretty intense. It's one of the most intense scenes in the movie, I feel like.
And it's pretty neat that they thought to do that in that movie.
Yeah.
The other thing in this movie that I thought was neat was when they would show the graboid go underground to dig underground, they would do this cool camera thing it was showing it drilling underground, but like it was like it's from its perspective, and I thought that was kind of neat. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably sat around and thought, how can we make this look like, this thing going underground? This is how we'll do it. And I'm not sure what I kept thinking. I wonder how they made that work.
Right.
Like that actual effect. Anyway.
Well, because none of this was CGI.
Oh,
it's all practical effects.
Right.
If it looks like sand, it is real sand.
It was. Yeah. Or a camera, them just shoving a camera in some dirt.
Yeah.
Graduate student, we didn't talk about her earlier, by the way. Rhonda LeBeck is her name. The love interest for Kevin Bacon, basically.
Yeah.
She's not his type.
She's very smart.
Yes.
She's
He's made it very
scientific.
clear. Blondes. He likes blondes. He describes her at being in a movie. This girl is, like you said, smart.
It's classic.
Very
take
bossy.
the glasses off, and she was hot the whole time.
Right.
One of those things. Except no glasses.
What
she
movie
had
is that?
Sunscreen on.
She's all that. What's that? What movie is that? Is that a movie?
Probably.
I don't know.
Any 90s teen drama.
It's all the same.
Yeah. She was hot the whole time.
Oh man, I totally missed out. Sorry. So she's doing seismology tests in the area. And so she's there. And she actually brings the story along from the seismic part.
Yes.
She fills in. She plays kind of the Obi-Wan role a little bit by giving you information that you didn't have. She's able to fill in some gaps that these people are just reaching.
Right. We have to figure out what their motivation
Yes.
is.
They are now, basically from here on, the rest of the movie, is they have a main threat, and their threat are the graboids.
Yes.
And every scenario is basically them just trying to escape the graboids.
We're trying not to get sucked into the ground by the graboids.
Yes.
And trying to figure out what causes them to attack some people and how they can try and get out of town without attracting attention. And it's actually, they did a really good job about following that, I feel like.
He grabs the bulldozer at this point. Like I said, I'm skipping some things because it really is kind of Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote scenario here, right?
Yeah. Well, you have the same scene over and over and over.
A lot of rock jumping. The rock scene took forever, by the way.
The pole vaulting is amazing.
They were synchronized pole vaulting at one point. There was one scene where
it's a montage.
Well, I think there's a video in there. If you put it to like some ABBA or Toto or something, like I could see them with I don't know. Anyway.
They're pole vaulting to keep away from the Tremor or the graboids.
Right. And they're saying on the solid rock because the solid rock would be, they don't.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe there's an analogy there we should follow. So I don't know. Anyway,
it doesn't go any deeper than that.
It really doesn't go any deeper than just them trying to escape. So they are escaping. They have the bulldozer. They have this 18-wheeler. They're trying to get away from the creature. They're trying to get to the mountain range.
Yes.
You do have the classic survivalist stockpiler guy that kind of provides a means of survival.
Michael Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reba and Michael Gross. I totally skipped over them. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Let's flesh them out a little bit here.
Amazing. Which I feel like of all the characters in the movie, these are the characters that I feel like I actually probably know some people who are like them, who their dream house is in the middle of nowhere, away from the rest of humanity, where your basement is filled with nothing but weapons and
for safety.
Yes. Apocalyptic bunker where you think nothing can get to you. But then what happens? The one thing that they didn't prepare for is the one thing.
No one prepares for graboids anymore.
Yeah, I know, right?
If nothing else,
lazy.
I know. If nothing else, I want people to listen to this episode and know the graboids are a possibility. Have you prepared for graboids? And if you haven't stockpiled enough guns, you'll be in trouble.
One of my favorite mom-daughter moments that I've had with my mother was she said that when she was a little girl, and she grew up with the 50s classic horror movies, The Swamp Thing, The Mummy, The Monster,
Yeah.
The Beast with Five Fingers,
Yes.
Classic horror movies. She would watch those and she would get scared. So what she did was she had a diary that was not how she was feeling, but it was how to kill all these monsters from all these movies she watched. And it made her feel better to have the way to kill all these different monsters in her little book. And she kept that under her bed and it made her feel safe. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, Mom.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did she make one for the graboids?
This was before, before graboids. This was pre-graboids.
The Blob, maybe? She probably would have watched the Blob.
The Blob.
Probably not, though.
Yeah.
There's not a graboid equivalent. No one can plan for graboids.
No, they just come out of nowhere.
Or as they prefer to be called, graboids. Some of them. Depends on where the graboids are from.
Is it the French?
Some of them, yeah. Some of them, oh, no, it's pronounced graboid.
Graboid.
What a jerk. Anyway, those Western graboids, I swear. All right. So, they're getting some safety. They're trying to lure the creatures. They've made these pipe bombs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is the big ending here. He makes these homemade pipe bombs, and they can't blow enough of them up, though, right? There's a bunch of them.
There's like 3 or 4 of them at this point.
Yeah. One graboid does work. It works on him. Another one, though, spits it out because they're starting to learn, like Jared was talking about.
Yeah.
And very intelligent, Kevin Bacon. Very intelligent.
Yes.
He...
which is what he's known for.
Well, anything that involves the edge of a perimeter. On this movie, he gets the last graboid by making it leap to its own death through a tunnel out into nothing.
Right.
On the edge.
Yes.
In Footloose, he had to go to the edge of town to have that dance party, to be able to dance, have their senior prom, or wherever it was.
I never
on the
realized.
edge of
See it?
societal
The
norms.
edge. He lives on the edge.
Wow.
Kevin Bacon.
Man, that's deep.
He is deep. Yes.
What other edges has Kevin Bacon been on?
He goes to the edge of living when he's on the one movie where he what's it called? Flatliners.
Yeah.
He dies, right? Or is it Kiefer that dies? Kiefer
I
Sutherland.
think that they die and come back. I think
Yeah, that's the whole
point.
Right on the edge of living.
Edge of life.
I'm doing good here.
Yeah.
Wow.
And six degrees of Kevin Bacon, or 5, what is it? 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
6.
This is like pioneer, folks.
Yeah.
Nice.
What else? What other movies? Give me one more Kevin Bacon
Is
movie.
he Invisible Man?
That's on the edge of being able to be seen. So yeah, that would make sense.
I think we're on the edge of where you can take this right now.
I've come to the edge, and now if I go any further, it's pointless. Okay, so really, that's the movie. Earl pushes Val toward having a romantic conversation with Help Me Rhonda, the college co-ed, and we travel off into the sunset, waiting for Tremors 2 to come out.
Now, have you guys seen the whole Tremors franchise?
I have
only had
not.
the second one. I think I've seen the second one.
I've seen 1, 2, and maybe part of 3.
Okay, because then you go to 4, which is a prequel, which is where we found perfection in 1902. There was a 13-episode series on Sci-Fi, and then followed up with Tremors 5, back to the future, not the future, but back to current time. And they've just announced in October, Tremors 6 is coming.
Not in the theater. Straight to
They gave
Sci-Fi
up
Channel.
on theater.
Sci-Fi
release.
Channel's taking this all on.
Probably.
Would you say though?
Amazing.
But they keep evolving into different creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Rapid evolution.
Again, by the 6th, by the 7th or 8th one, they're going to be running businesses, and
We're going to be rooting for them at that point.
Yeah.
these humans have ruined our lives.
It's more of
All
a
right.
rom-com.
So let's do this. Let's talk about some goods and bads in this movie. What's some goods?
My favorite scene, like I said, was where they pull the whole station wagon underground, because at the time
would've thought to do that?
that was pretty impressive. Nowadays, with CGI, if you can imagine it, you can make it visible. But back then, it was pretty impressive and scary. I think it goes into one of our primal fears of there's something under the bed that you can't see.
Absolutely.
It's just it really gets you. That so there's something you can't see that could grab your feet at any time. So I feel like they really nailed that primal instinct fear in this movie. Acting not so great, but the characters. I really cared about the characters, and so I got pretty invested. And the pacing, honestly, the pacing was not terrible. They did a good job with story development versus action for an older horror movie.
Yes, and an hour was about an hour and a half in length, so not so bad.
Yeah.
Made for syndication, though, really. I mean,
oh yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what they get paid for that, but I mean,
probably
I don't know.
3 or 4 cents per airing.
Yeah, so maybe Kevin Bacon has made some or made some money. Made some money.
He probably gets a check once a year for like $75.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thanks, Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
What about the bads?
The bads.
What's the worst part of this movie? Other than you said the acting's bad. What's the part that was there ever a part? And it's this movie. Was there ever a part where you're like, this is just so stupid that I just can't even?
Well,
you've seen it a billion times, and so have I.
Right.
But
that the people, the worst part are the people who are like, can't you understand what's happening? It's plain as day at this point. Come on.
I know. And the accents threw me off.
Yeah, that's true.
It was Kevin Bacon doing a really bad and again, they're in Nevada. I don't know what Nevada people what their accents like.
Yeah.
If you're from Wisconsin, I kind of know, or Michigan or Illinois. Missouri kind of has its own kind of. This actually might have had some of their. Again, I'm from, the woods. I mean, I'm talking the woods, and so I know some people and have some relatives of mine that even talk this way. But I'm not sure what theirs was. Earl, the guy that Fred Ward. Now he does a good job of seeming like he's from sort of backwoods kind of areas.
Yeah.
So in every role he's been in, but anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say that and some of the dialogue is just
corny.
The scene
so corny.
where she got barbed wire wrapped around her.
Oh, see, things like
you
that.
You have to say that's the point where you remember, it's supposed to be a horror monster flick where there's a girl that's going to have to run in her underwear because they had to take her pants off to get her free.
Yeah, that is true. That was the one.
Like, what?
But that was really the one thing in the whole movie that was like at all, and not even risque, but risque enough to where you're like, well, what?
Yeah.
But there wasn't a whole lot of
No.
just gratuitous stuff like that. Anyway, okay, so let's rate this movie. 1 bad, because this is a horror movie podcast, so it's not going to be 1 awesome, 5 the worst. Yeah. It's going to be 1 is bad. We know it's bad.
Right.
5 being the worst movie you can just this is so horrible.
I would give it a solid 2.5.
Okay. 2.5. It's bad. But there are some redeeming qualities to it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I liked it. And I would still, like I said, when we first came on, I was like, if I have nothing else to do and I'm flipping around, I can't find anything,
I'd watch this.
I'd leave it on. Yeah.
Good stuff.
I would have given it like a 1 or a 2 because I enjoy watching it. I have good memories watching it. And the Graboid set the framework for any time, like Dune. Have you read or know about Dune? That's a sandworm. And that's kind of what I always imagined a sandworm looking like.
It's funny that how, such a stupid little movie can affect your life. Everywhere you go, they've got the claw machines,
Yes.
I call those the Graboid machines.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like, I want to play the Graboid. So, that's something that I still call it that after all this time.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Okay. What have you been into lately?
Other than VisionCon?
Other than work, it can be a show, it can be anything.
Well, 2 things. I had a friend who was a huge Doctor Who fan for his whole life, and was always telling me, you got to watch Doctor Who, you got to watch. And I just never, I was like, I don't know. It looks kind of campy and silly.
And the old stuff was really campy. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And I'm like, I don't know. But then he had it on DVD, had the series, and he just gave it to us to watch. And so I was like, well, I'm out of stuff to watch at this point. And oh my gosh, that is one show that is so much more than it appears.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing.
Where did you start at?
I started with the Ninth Doctor at the reboot with Christopher Eccleston.
Yeah, which is
Who's your
great.
favorite?
Great.
Who's your favorite Doctor?
David Tennant.
Really?
Yeah.
And isn't he the best?
He's my favorite.
I love him. I love David
But
Tennant.
he was actually, ironically enough, not my first Doctor. They say who your first Doctor is your Doctor,
Yeah,
the one
he's
that
mine.
you saw for the first. Actually, because I'd been told it was so good, was flipping around, and Matt Smith. There was a couple episodes.
And he's great.
They were having a marathon, and I watched a couple episodes. There was a space whale episode, and there were a couple. So Matt Smith was actually the first time I ever watched it. So he should be my Doctor.
Yes.
But he's good. Don't get me wrong. I liked him, but there was just a real, humanity and different level to that I felt like David Tennant brought to the
This can sound
character.
really lame for me to say this, but I feel like Dave Tennant is a little more accessible. Like, I'm
He
not
was the
sure
most
how to
human.
explain it. Yeah, it's more. Yeah, yeah.
I like Peter Capaldi. They took it to a darker level with him. That
Yeah,
I enjoy.
he's grumpy and he's different. I don't think any of them were bad. They're just all different.
Yeah.
So
Good stuff.
So that would say, I would say that's my newest addiction. Also, my brother and I have been online playing Borderlands.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys are into video gaming
I've never
at all.
played it, but I know what it is. Yeah.
It's fun because it's a shooter game, but it's funny. The people who made this, they have spin-offs of, you can do a downloadable content that's a Lord of the Rings. They make fun of sci-fi, it's just funny, like the things the characters say. It's a very adult game, though. It's not for little kids.
Right.
There's a lot of killing and there's bad words in it. But for an adult, it's funny. So yeah,
It's cool.
If you haven't played Borderlands, I would give it a try.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Anything else before we sign off into the great VisionCon future?
Because I work for the marketing department for VisionCon, we work year round. So a great lot of my time is focused on getting this convention up and running. My free time.
Yeah.
Because we are all
It's
volunteers.
kind of your hobby then.
Well, because we're all volunteers, we all have day jobs, and we don't get paid to do this. So my free time, a lot of it goes towards making the convention as good as it can be.
Okay.
So I'd say
awesome.
that's my hobby.
It's cool.
Mhm.
I'm so glad you came on. I'm so glad you came over. And we're excited about VisionCon. I bet you are too. It's a big. If you're you've worked on this all year.
Yes, I
and
have
it
actually.
culminates in 2 weeks.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, and
I guess technically I'd airtime here in 1 week. Technically,
yes,
in airtime of this in 1 week.
February 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yes.
Friday, Saturday,
Yes.
Sunday. And like I said, it's a 24-hour convention. Last year, for those 3 days, I think I slept 6 hours total for the whole 3-day weekend.
24-hour game room. You can
Yes.
go sleep in one of the corners of the game room. Just so you
Absolutely.
know, I
Your
found
eyes.
this out. But
Yeah.
you're in charge though, so you can do whatever you want. I mean,
Right. Yeah, that is true.
Think about that. I mean, we're saying.
Yeah.
So.
But
How many hours? 6 in 3 days?
yes.
Were you hallucinating by the end?
By the end, I was ready to go home. And just I have learned I need to take a vacation day on Monday instead of going back to work on Monday. I have learned that needs to be a rest and recuperate day.
You better, or you're going to have problems whenever the. I won't say.
Or I'll have to paint my eyes on at work, so that no
Whoa,
one can see
ma'am.
I'm asleep.
Well, cool. Thanks so much for coming in.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. I can't wait to see you guys down there. You've never
pumped.
been, so I can't.
I've never been,
wait for you guys to see and to experience.
very,
it.
very pumped.
Yeah.
Pumped up. Like I said, we really like the Comic-Con scene.
And this one's so close
Yeah,
for you.
I've heard great things, so we're
Yeah.
pumped. Okay, thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
You were great. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And Tremors.
You did great too.
Thanks.
Did you guys hear that karaoke? Because awesome.
We'll find a way to get that. I'm not sure how I can promote that, but I'm
We'll do
looking
it in
to
5-second segments.
Right.
Okay, we can do it. Let's do it. All right, Andrea. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I will see you guys at VisionCon.
Yeah, see you there.